Okay folks, it's time now for game 2 between Grubby and Inhuman, and this is going to be a game on Melting Valley, and it's going to be a human mirror actually, which obviously Grubby's not a human player, and Inhuman I assume is based purely on his name and the fact he was human last game as well. And so obviously a bit of an advantage here for Inhuman maybe, but you know, Grubby is Grubby, so we're undoubtedly going to see some sort of interesting play by him. And as you can see, Melting Valley, pretty standard openings from both sides. Actually, sorry, not standard openings, because Grubby has gone for a farm first rather than a barrack, and yeah, he's going to put his barracks a bit later, but isn't going to make a huge difference, because generally you have a couple of footmen out by the time the first heroes out anyway, and so maybe this means that Grubby's not going to go for as aggressive creeping in the beginning or something like that. And well, actually a bit of an interesting baseball turn as well. He's actually now started power building his altar, so it's a fairly unusual play, but it's not going to make a huge difference to the actual course of the game, I don't think. I'm not overly sure what it actually indicates in itself, but it probably just means Grubby just messing around a bit. As you can see, he's going for a pretty odd base build. Maybe he has something planned for later on, but Paladin first actually, unless he's really unusual. Obviously this is a human mirror, so Paladin is really pretty useless in this situation. Mountain King for Inhuman, but Paladin obviously a really interesting choice. Obviously it's pretty good against undead, just in terms of you can really, once you get level 3 you can use your Divine Shield and then get one hit off on an Acolyte and then Holy Light it, and that can really do a lot of damage. But in the Human Mirror I don't think I've ever seen Paladin first, so I'm bound to see something interesting coming from Grubby now, and obviously producing a couple of footmen at the same time, and I'm now bringing out one militia just to presumably scout. And Mountain King, meanwhile, is very standard, especially on Melting Valley. Mountain King's an amazing hero because you can get level 3 really quickly just by going around. If you creep this camp, then your natural expansion, then you have pretty much flush on level 3, and obviously level 2 bolt is just so powerful. But meanwhile, Paladin's coming out now with 4 militia, obviously a bit earlier than the Mountain King. Mountain King's just out now, but that's just because Grubby power built his base, and Inhuman actually going for some pretty unaggressive creeping, all things considered. Generally the Mountain King will creep this Merc camp first, but Inhuman's clearly playing a bit different as well. And Grubby meanwhile creeping it out, taking a bit of damage on one of his militia, but obviously being able to heal it up, and it's well worth healing up. I mean, that also wasn't in too much danger, but Grubby was at full mana anyways, so he doesn't lose too much by just using a Holy Light there. And meanwhile, Grubby's bringing in 2 militia now. Let's use it to just creep out the small camp. So some pretty small creeping from Grubby, and Inhuman now coming in later. What he's done is he's waited to have actually defend upgraded on his footmen, which just means that this is going to be so much easier to creep, because obviously these are all piercing damage creeps, and so as long as he doesn't tank on his militia, he's actually doing a bit with this one militia here. And then he's going to be able to creep this out pretty painlessly, and he has managed to do that. He has got level 2 and he has got a 1 command stealing as well. Meanwhile, Grubby looks like he's putting out a scout farm here, and looks like he will lose his peasant, or actually no, he can get away. I thought he might get a bit lucky there. But meanwhile, the Paladin's now going to come in and try and creep this out, and Grubby's also reserved to defend. As I said, it's just really effective, and he's actually been able to creep it before his militia even came, because he knew he wasn't going to take too much damage. He just needs the militia just to do a bit more damage rather than to tank anything. And Paladin has already picked up a clause of attack, and well, obviously what item he gets here, it's a really nice charge item that you generally get. Actually, probably hopefully not an invuln pot for him, considering he is level 2 now, so he's going to have invulnerability on his own, but we'll see. Not all the time actually pushing invulnerability, yeah, it's not brilliant for him, but it's a bit of a shame, because generally that's quite a good item. But he's just got, I guess he's got the ability to be invulnerable for a super long period of time, or he might hand off to a second hero when he picks one up. I assume he's going to go for second hero, because Paladin on its own really can't actually do too much on it, just because, I mean, he can heal a bit, but certainly he doesn't have any offensive nature really, unlike the Mountain King, Archmage, Blood Mage, really anything like that. They all have some sort of offensive component, but in a human mirror there's really not much for the Paladin to do. Meanwhile, Grubby is now creeping out this expansion here, and he's bringing in a lot of militia, and I imagine he will just put up an expansion here. I think that's exactly what Inhuman's going to do when he has the resources. Obviously he's a bit short at the moment, so he's just making good use of his peasant time, just getting himself harvested with lumber, and then he can bring that lumber in as soon as his town hall is done. And meanwhile, Grubby's getting a bit, actually it's not a jack, because he's finished creeping, but level 2 bolt, as you can see, pretty much takes out that Shadow Priest immediately. And Grubby now having some mana stolen as well by 1 mana stealing, and and another bolt being casted on the paladin, and obviously that's sort of a pretty clever thing to bolt, just because it's the only thing that can't really be healed by Grubby at this point. And Grubby now power building one tower, probably turned into an arcane tower, but we'll have to see what happens there. Yeah, he is going for an arcane tower, and but defend being used on both the footmen, because these berserkers are around, and so it's not too important. And Grubby managing to make good use of his level 2 holy light, healing up footmen basically from 0 hit points to full. And so obviously I'm making good use of that, because that's pretty much the full capacity of holy light as well. And Mountain King does almost have enough mana for another bolt. If he needs about 20 mana, but Grubby might be in a bit of trouble just if any sort of bash comes off. But he does manage to use his invulnerability, his divine shield, and we'll continue to try and chase down this one berserker. And meanwhile, it looks like Inhuman's going to do the same thing. He does get a bash there, and he will have a bolt in a second as well. And I imagine he's going to use it to take out this berserker, but Grubby actually manages to heal it up just in time. And so I think Inhuman's just got to run away. Actually, very nice dodge there of a bolt by using his greater invuln pot. I'm not sure that was a great use of the item, but very nice there by Grubby, just showing what he can do in terms of just not taking damage from that bolt. And I guess that he might have just been worried about actually taking too much damage if the Mountain King had just come over and maybe got a lucky bash on top of everything else. And the Arcane Tower is now up, and Grubby's now power building his Town Hall. And meanwhile, Inhuman has actually done a good job of distracting, and does have his expansion up and Arcane Vault up, and a couple towers being built as well. And I imagine, yeah, Mountain King will just buy a Clarity, and then we'll wait for the footman to come in to use his healing potion. But Paladin now coming in, being able to use invulnerability again, and just obviously cancelling the Clarity and the salve wherever possible. And I'm taking out one footman as well, and Inhuman's going to have to rebuy a Clarity, and actually probably rebuy Arcane Scroll as well, just to get his Mountain King sort of back up and running. And meanwhile, Grubby doing some nice multitask creeping here, actually using his defended footman to be able to creep out all of this stuff, and bringing his Paladin in here. Maybe he's going to buy I imagine a staff, actually, just a staff back here and pick up these nice items. Talisman of Evasion, actually not brilliant items for him. Obviously Agility, pretty much the worst tome he could have got there. And actually he sells the Talisman of Evasion as well, but he has picked up a boots. And I imagine that they both started attacking by now. Yeah, Grubby's started attacking, and Inhuman actually hasn't started attacking, but it looks like he's going for possibly a second. No, it doesn't look like he's going for a second expansion. Although he is bringing in one peasant, so we'll have to see what he gets there. But he will need to get some sort of tech going on at some point, because otherwise Grubby could just massively out-tech him. And Mountain King hasn't actually used the Regen Scroll or the Curly Potion yet, and I think maybe he's waiting until he's crept this out to use it. And he's obviously hoping that Grubby won't notice doesn't come in for some sort of jab. And Grubby now picking up a Shredder with a Zeppelin as well. And I guess this is because he doesn't really have too many on lumber, I guess. No, actually there's a fair few on lumber. Maybe he could go for a second expansion. He has about 8 peasants down there on lumber, on top of getting a Shredder, and with just 2 mines, that seems almost like lumber overkill. So maybe we're going to see either some really lumber intensive play, or we're going to be seeing some sort of second expansion. And then Mountain King getting pretty close to level 4 now, and meanwhile I think Grubby's still fairly low on level. Actually no, yeah, Grubby's just fairly low on level 4. I guess he's looking to go for a bit of a fight now. He knows he has level 2 Divine Shield, and so he will be able to sort of go in and sort of attack peasants and stuff, and then also he's going to have defended footmen as well, which will be pretty nice. And you can see he does pop that invulnerability as soon as possible, just because, well, for one thing, it generally cools down in time that you can then use it for a second one, but also it just means that he wasn't hit by the Arcane Tower when he was in there, and obviously mana is pretty important on a Paladin. And Grubby, I guess he's waiting for something from the Goblin Lab, because he's just staying around. Or maybe he's just trying to push the Ogre Maulers into the range of the towers. This would be pretty nice if he could do it. And it looks like he has managed to do it, but it hasn't brought out the other 2 Ogres, so it hasn't gone too well for him. I think it would be better if he wasn't Divine Shield, because obviously it's a lot harder to sort of to make something, or to push something rather than to chase it in terms of creep. But Grubby getting a bit of a surround here off from the Mountain King. The Mountain King does have an invuln pot, and will use it, and Grubby being forced to TP out. And I'd say he won't actually lose any units there before he TPs out, so that's pretty nice for him. And meanwhile, Grubby's tech is he's going immediately to tier 3, and putting down 3 Griffin Aviaries and a Blacksmith. So I guess we're going to be seeing some pretty intense Griffin, maybe building Griffins as quickly as possible. And Grubby actually doesn't actually have that much gold, only 500 gold compared to actually about 500 on both sides, and this is I think actually Human Sec will definitely be behind. Yeah, he's not even tier 2, but I think we'll probably see a similar tech from Inhuman. We might see workshops maybe if he scouts out the Griffin aviaries. But we'll have to see exactly what his plan is. It looks like Grubby's going to continue creeping here. Obviously, level 5 Paladin would be pretty nice with a his level 3 Holy Light, just so effective for healing up really high hit point units like Knights or Griffins or Dragonhawk Riders, stuff like that. Obviously, Dragonhawk Riders actually don't even have enough hit points until you get the upgrade as well, the Animal War training. And meanwhile, Mountain King has now crept out this spot, picked up a Book of the Dead. That might actually work out alright for him, all things considered, because doesn't look like there's going to be an Arcane Sanctum, so there's not really going to be any Dispel for Grubby for a while, and so he might be able to use it to maybe if he could get a Bolt and then use it to complete a surround or something. That'd be pretty nice.